My heart breaks for you. It's absolutely terrible. It's the worst loss. Megan had tried to tell this restaurant that she was allergic to nuts. She'd made it clear in the information. And yesterday, 2 people went to prison for manslaughter. Do you feel any sort of justice has been done?
Yeah, I do. Regardless of the sentencing and how long they got, we believe this is going to raise awareness. We can't change our story, but we can help it stop being rewritten in somebody else's life. And that's the ultimate game for us now, really.
Adam, had you used this sort of takeaway website before? Was it something that, as a family or as a young lady, that she was aware of and making sure that her allergies were pointed out?
It was quite new to us as a family. Megan and her friends had only used it twice, once previous to the 30th of December. But Megan and her friends were sensible enough to put her allergies down.
So you had no reason to believe that this time, because you were doing what you'd done before, was going to be any different to the previous times you'd used it? No. How severe were your expectations or thoughts about her allergy as well?
Megan was diagnosed with her allergies at 8. The diagnosis was explained to us as a mild allergy, with the importance to avoid the allergen and should a reaction occur, to treat with antihistamines.
And that had worked before?
Yes.
When she'd had an allergic reaction?
Yes.
In this case, it was more severe.
Yeah.
Gemma, often people say, well, why don't you just avoid, eating food that you haven't prepared yourself? And as a mum who has allergies, these sorts of allergies in my family, that's entirely impractical.
Yeah.
Children, especially teenagers, as they're becoming young adults, need to learn to navigate the world.
Absolutely.
They can't constantly be making themselves sandwiches to go out and eat safely. And there is a reason why there is a law in place on this.
Yeah, and I don't think they should be set apart from everybody else. They should be able to eat food, and they should be able to eat it safely, regardless of where it's come from. There are tools out there for restaurateurs and takeaways in order to educate themselves. They just need to do that. Put the processes in place. The trading standards are there to help.
When she received this takeaway and she'd made it clear, I'm allergic to nuts, I'm allergic to prawns, please don't have any of those ingredients in them. She received the food. What happened and how quickly did she react?
They'd split everything apart, and she'd started eating, and I believe, because she was at a friend's house, I believe it was quite quick, the reaction. Her friend's parents did the right thing. They gave her some Piriton.
Which is antihistamine.
Yeah, and the reaction subsided. She discarded what she'd eaten at the time, thought that had caused the reaction, unbeknown to Megan that lots of things contain peanuts that she was unaware of. She then continued to eat, and it wasn't until we got home about half an hour later that the severe reaction started.
And you were in a position where you tried to give her the life-saving treatment, and then called an ambulance.
Yeah.
And of course, then she went into hospital.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Megan. And what do you want her legacy to be?
Megan was such a kind, considerate and helpful person. And we take inspiration from Megan's personality into our lives now. She would help anybody in need. She would make friends wherever she went. She would look after her brother. She would protect her brother. So we take inspiration from Megan.
It's impossible for the two of you to have to deal with this, but of course, I think in court you talked about the impact it's had on little Owen, and we saw some pictures of him with his sister there. How's he coping?
He's not coping very well, actually. He doesn't like to be away from us. He's changed a lot, a lot. I used to be a really outgoing little boy. Now he's struggling with his emotions, gets upset easily. He has changed a lot, and he misses his big sister a lot.
Dr. Hillary is sitting alongside you. Dr. Hillary, no restaurant, takeaway, delivery service should play fast and loose with this condition, because people with allergies make a life and death decision every time they choose to eat food that they haven't themselves prepared. And as I say, there are strict rules in place about this. And as we've seen, 2 people have now gone to prison because of
Nobody who sells food to anybody should not know what the ingredients are.
Yep.
1 in 1,000 of the general population have anaphylaxis. This is not rare. We hear about this regularly. The incidence of anaphylaxis has gone up 600% in the 20 years before 2012 at least, and probably more since then. So this is becoming more common, and simple measures would prevent these unnecessary deaths. I think Adam and Gemma are doing an absolutely superb job in raising awareness. There's so much to be done. People use the word allergy incorrectly when they just don't like food. They say they're allergic. That's got to be stopped. When people are allergic, restaurants and employers need to take account of what they're being told. Not to say, oh, I think it'll be all right, I'll go and check, but they don't really check.
Or on the other hand, sometimes you get quite unhelpful advice, which is, well, the kitchen does prepare foods with that ingredient in, but actually they can prepare things separately and make sure that it's safe.
They can. But until people take it seriously and understand the nature of allergy and that just a few molecules can cause a life-threatening condition, you know, we're not going to get anywhere. And we need to take this much more seriously. It's common. People should, you know, be aware. And actually, I think Megan should have been given more information and awareness from her doctors, looking
Well, I
back
think one
and
of the
talking to
things
you
that
earlier.
might concern other parents whose children have been diagnosed with a mild allergy is that, you know, how often is it that it escalates from a mild allergy at the age of 8 to at 15 being a fatal allergy?
I mean, mild allergy, I don't understand what mild... Because as we can see, a mild allergy can escalate to an anaphylactic, life-threatening condition very easily. So that term shouldn't be used. Allergies should be tested. If someone's getting worse, if the asthma is getting more frequent or more severe, if they've already got hay fever and eczema and it's in the family, you get your blood test done and you carry your adrenaline pen, because these things can save lives.
Gemma, we're coming to the end of the week, which traditionally is a time when families get together and they have a nice takeaway because everyone's finishing work. And what's your advice to parents that have children with allergies, or to people with allergies themselves that may be thinking, like you have on a number of occasions, let's order some food through an internet web-based service where we're not actually talking face-to-face or person-to-person to someone on the other end of the phone?
I'd like to have the confidence that they'd be able to order it, but unfortunately I don't. And until these improvements are made, I wouldn't order from takeaways unless you are confident that they are going to take the allergies seriously. So a conversation with them, and you can then gauge it on their reaction to how knowledgeable they are. It's brushed off as in, yes, that's fine. Yeah. I'd avoid it until these improvements are made.
And the improvements that you want to see made are what?
We want them to start using the information that's available to them, start putting the systems in place, listing their ingredients, doing the audits, using the tools. Trading standards are there to help. Yes. We just want better systems.
It's just too big a risk to take, isn't it? It's
yeah, absolutely.
Just extraordinary.
Thank you. We really appreciate you coming in.
It's incredibly brave.
Your loss is the worst that any parent can possibly imagine, and your grief is unimaginable, actually. But if you and your story can do anything to instruct and remind restaurant owners, you don't play games with people's lives. You know what is in your food. You communicate that clearly to people who are paying you money to buy your food, and you don't play fast and loose, because these teenagers, these children, these parents are making life or death decisions, and in this case, that led to the loss of a precious 15-year-old life.
And what you're doing is a great legacy for Megan. It really, really is. Keep up the good work.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you, Gemma. Thank you, Adam. And I'd love to Owen as well.
Thank you.